What's going on, guys, and welcome back to part 2 of the Play Like a Bouse leveling series. I'm BouseFeenux, and in this episode we're going to cover another of my favorite methods for leveling warframes and weapons. I call this the Akkad method, and it's pretty simple to execute. Let's jump in. Now, I call this the Akkad method because, as you guessed it, it takes place on the Akkad sector on Eris, which is a dark sector defense. I use this method because in most dark sector missions, you actually gain an affinity bonus for playing there. I use this one in particular because of its foolproof tile set, which will be the same every time. Now, we'll cover that in a second, but first you'll need the right gear. Now, there are a bunch of different ways to set this mission up, but I prefer the setup of having a Tonkor or some other area of denial weapon and a Fast Nova. The Fast Nova isn't 100% necessary, but she'll make this go a lot quicker. And in reality, you can really bring any frame you want, and only one person in the party needs this setup. The beauty of it is that one person can be the Nova and still gain affinity, so like other methods, there aren't a bunch of people getting left out. Next, we'll cover the mission setup, or where you'll actually be standing. Now, as I said before, if you're playing on Akkad, you'll get this tile every single time, and it's laughably easy to exploit. So the first thing you want to do after activating the defense objective is to jump into the rafters. This works so well because you'll be fighting infested who are largely melee-based. By standing up here, they'll pretty much ignore you and go straight for the defense pod, which is exactly what we want. Lastly, if you're using this method, there's one of two roles that you can take part in, which are either the Leech or the Damage Dealer. This clip is shown from the perspective of the Leech, who happens to be playing the Nova. As I said before, a Fast Nova makes this whole thing go much quicker, because when Molecular Prime has negative power strength, it causes enemies to move rapidly, and since defense missions spawn a finite number of enemies per wave, you want to be able to kill them as quickly as possible for efficiency's sake. The rules are simple for this, though, is if you're playing the Nova, just make sure to cast Molecular Prime every so often. If you're not playing the Nova or the Damage Dealer, just stay on the rafters and soak up the free affinity. Don't forget to drop down and grab loot every once in a while either, as this mission is also a fantastic place to farm plastids, nanospores, and neurodes. This clip is shown from the perspective of the Damage Dealer. If you're using a Tonkor, all you really need to do is fire at the cryopod when it's being swarmed by enemies. The cryopod counts as an ally, and when fired upon, it'll cause your Tonkor grenades to detonate, and since the Tonkor is massively powerful, you'll be able to clear huge crowds of enemies with ease. If you aren't using a Tonkor, the Torrid will do this job just as well. Just place the mines around the cryopod and watch everything run to its death. This is also a really good time to put a lens on your Tonkor or whatever weapon you're doing the killing with, as you'll be able to gain a pretty decent amount of focus from this as well. As a final thought, I want to let you guys know that this is by no means the best leveling method, but it is certainly effective. If you're using a booster, you can easily get a weapon from 0 to 30 in about 10 to 15 waves if you count in the bonus experience at the end of the mission. I know this isn't as fast as a Draco, but this is a fantastic alternative if you're either sick of Draco or have a very limited group setup. Also, everyone that participates has something to gain, be it the resources that drop here or the potential for focus gain. And that about wraps it up, guys. I hope this was helpful to you, and if it was, be sure to leave a like and subscribe for more Warframe content, because that really helps me out a lot. We are so close to 5,000 followers, and I bet you that by the end of the week, we can hit that. And as always, guys, thank you so much for watching. Until next time, I'm BouseFeenux, and this has been another episode of Play Like a Bouse. Peace out, guys.